In this video, we'll be going over the Unified Communications app that works with the TELUS Business Connect desktop application. We're taking a look right now just at the More section of a user side of a portal. This is where you need to go to download the application if you're going to be using TELUS Business Connect from your desktop. As you can see here, there are two options. From here, we've got the ability to download for Mac or PC. And these two buttons are going to allow you to download the new Unified Communications app. If you're looking for the older one, which we've done tutorial videos on, the links for those two are right here, just below it. The difference is we're going to cover that briefly just at the beginning, and then I'll just kind of focus on the Unified Communications app. Basically, the old application still supports the heads-up display, and it also allows you to put calls into park locations and retrieve calls from park locations. With the new Unified Communications app, we aren't able to access the heads-up display, and we are not able to put calls into park locations as well. By park locations, I mean specified private park locations. We still are able to put calls into a park, but they are actually held in the cloud park location, meaning that when you put the call into park, it will then go into an extension such as star 801 or star 803. And then to retrieve that call, you would need that code. All you need to do is enter that code into any phone system within your corporate company, and that call will be retrieved. That being said, once you have downloaded either application for Mac or PC, and you have installed it, once you open it up, you're going to be brought to a screen that looks something like this. Works very similar to the old application. You just need to sign in with your credentials, your email address, and password. Once you've signed in, you'll be brought to this main screen where you'll see the name of your company up here in the top left. You'll have some navigation bars here where you can go back or forward if you choose to. You have a search bar if you're looking to search for things within the application, such as text messages, phone calls, things like that. And then over here on the right-hand side, we've got the access to the dial pad. This is available to you no matter where you are within the app. If you're navigating throughout the different sections, this bar here stays constant. And you're able to just click on that and enter a name or number to make a phone call. You're also able to change your dial out number just by clicking on the arrow and selecting which number you're going to dial out as. You also have a little recent calls button. If you click on this one, it brings you up the little history of who you've called recently. Or just click back on it again, it'll bring you back to the dial pad. You can also enter a number in here directly if you're looking to do that. Just by entering the extension, you can dial the extension. Or if you're looking to contact someone within your company, you can just enter their name. And as you see, it does pop up with their names there. Or if you're just looking to dial a regular number, go ahead and enter a 10-digit number and then hit dial. Once you've completed a call or a call has gone through, you'll have this pop-up window here. And if you need to minimize the call while you're in it, you can just click on minimize and it'll do just what you saw there, kind of minimize to that top bar. We'll take a look more in detail at how the call interface works once we get to that section. Moving on, we have a plus button, which allows you to do new actions. This is pretty much anything within the application. Again, stays consistent no matter where you are within the app. You're able to click on that plus button and send a new message using Glip or the internal communication. Create a team, again, referencing to Glip. Start a video meeting, which is the TELUS Business Connect video conferencing. Schedule a video meeting. Send a new text message. Send a new fax, or invite someone to TELUS Business Connect. This might be useful if you're looking to share things internally or externally. Using the Glip feature, you might need to invite someone to TELUS Business Connect to access some of the things that you've been sharing. On the far right side, you've got the profile icon. If you hover over it, you'll see the cursor becomes activated. You just click on that and it'll bring up this little menu here where you can view your profile if you're looking to modify it. From here, you can click on the profile picture to edit the picture. You can also change your message, which, if you click on it, will actually just send a message to yourself. Great place for just, keeping notes or having things for yourself just kind of on wraps. If we go back to that section there and click on View Profile, you'll see that we have the department and the company I'm working with. You'll also see extension number, direct number for dialing, and an email address. This one looks a little funky, but yeah, it's a little bit of a weird section there for the email. If you click on Edit, you can then modify your title, department, location, web page, and even your first or last name if you need to edit it. Go back to this section here. You can then clear your status if you have a status set. For myself, I have it set to working remotely, kind of just where we've been at for the last year and a bit. And you're also able to put yourself into Do Not Disturb or set yourself as invisible. It's important to note that if you do put yourself into invisible, this does apply throughout the entire TELUS Business Connect and not just for the desktop application. Whereas the Do Not Disturb is just going to put this one desktop application into Do Not Disturb. Accept queue calls, pretty straightforward there. If you're part of a call queue and you have this turned on, you're going to be receiving those call queue calls. If you're, say, not part of that call queue today and wish to not receive those calls, just click on that little button and it'll toggle your call queues off. In the About section, just goes through a few of the about information about the application. We'll just go ahead and click on the app version just to kind of see when this one was most recently updated. And you can see here that this version of this application was updated on June 17th of this year. It says restart to update. If there was an update, you could click on that one. I've given this a try a few times. There isn't really an update yet for it, but that option is there. If you find that you've been notified about an update and it's just not installing, you can go to that section to install that update. If you're looking for support, you can click on Get Support. It'll bring you to the TELUS Business Connect support section there. You also have a quick link to download the mobile app. Click on this one here. It'll just bring you to a link where you can select to find the mobile application and download it for iOS or Android. And then finally, you have the sign out if you need to sign out of the application. So that's pretty much just the top bar. That stays consistent no matter where we go. If we're navigating through this application here, you can see that it stays consistent up at the top. And we'll take a look here now at the 5 options here on the left, as well as the bottom 2. First of all, up at the top, if we hover over it, you can see that it says message. This is that internal communication for messaging run by Glip, integrated with the TELUS Business Connect system. These messages here are not text messages, but rather internal communications, something similar to WhatsApp or Microsoft Teams. In order for you to communicate with somebody, they will need to have TELUS Business Connect. And once they do have that, then you'll be able to send them direct messages or create a team where you can communicate with them. You can share files, create tasks, or even add applications where you can all interact. And then once you have kind of an ongoing conversation, you'll see here on the right-hand side, items can be pinned. You may have files that you're sharing back and forth, or maybe even have images that are shared. If you click on more, you'll see that you have access to tasks, links, notes, events, code snippets for those that are into coding, and then applications if you have third-party apps that you're using within your messages. If you're looking to just hide some of these screens, right, look for these little arrows. You can hover over it. It'll tell you what it will do. Click on that. It'll hide the details just to clean up your screen a little bit more. You can also click on more up at the top, depending on who you're speaking with, to open up their profile, change notification preferences, or just copy the conversation and send it to an email. Over here at the top left, you'll see that there's an @mentions. This is where you could go if you've been mentioned a couple times, maybe in messages, and you're looking to find where that recent message is. Or if you've made some bookmarks, you can click on the bookmarks tab and it'll bring you directly to that. If you favorited any messages, I have just favorited myself for this example. They'll show up at the favorites, and you can also collapse some of these groups here as well, just to clean it up if you've got a lot going on there. You do have the option to create a new folder. This here will just create a new conversation folder where you can organize your conversations. Moving on down to the video section. This right here is going to be where we manage and host or join any of the TELUS Business Connect video meetings. Before we used to use a second application to do that. Now it's all integrated into this one. As you can see here, we've got the meetings. If you want to start a meeting, just click on Start. It'll start a meeting. And if you're looking to schedule a meeting, you can click on Schedule. Once we click on it, it'll bring you up this diagram here where you can enter in the details of the meeting, choose for it to be reoccurring. You can choose how it'll schedule it. By default, it's just going to use the meeting info. But if you're looking to use Outlook or Google Calendar, you can do that directly from here. As you go down a little further, you'll see that you can change your meeting ID or use one that's consistent. I like to keep it consistent there. You can also choose to require a password. By default, I believe this is activated, so if you don't want to use a password, you should probably go in here just to turn that off. And then you can go ahead and change any of the advanced settings for your meeting as you choose. If you're looking to record your meeting, make sure you do have this selected to record locally. Otherwise, it will not record and you will have to record it once the meeting starts. And once you click schedule, it'll go ahead and schedule the meeting for you. Once it's scheduled, you can then invite people to it and go with there. If you're just looking to join a meeting and you already have the meeting ID, you can click on join and then select the meeting ID to join. Here's where you enter the name. This name will appear next to your video when you join the meeting. And then you can also select not to connect your audio or maybe turn off your video if you just want to join in and listen and watch instead of announcing yourself with a video or audio. Another nice thing to note, the little meeting history drop down is there as well. If you're looking to quickly go back into someone else's meeting that you were just in, you have access to that. And in addition to that, we do have the little more section next to your personal meeting ID. This is going to be your code that you use to give out to people if they're wishing to join into a meeting with you. Again, if you're looking to start a meeting really quickly with that personal meeting ID, you can just click here or schedule it, or you can change your personal meeting ID here. You can also connect your calendars if you're looking to do that. If you have a Microsoft calendar with Outlook, you can go ahead and click on there and it'll integrate it. If you're looking to integrate with your Google Calendar, you can click on Sign with Google and it'll go ahead and integrate your Google Calendar. Once you have integrated your calendars, you will see here that there will be a list of meetings if you have them scheduled or any events that are already in your calendar. You're also going to have access to some recordings if you have done any recordings and kept them in the cloud. Once you click on cloud recordings, it's going to automatically log you into your portal and see if you have access to any cloud recordings. As you can see here, I do not have permission to access cloud recordings with my account, but if you do, you'll be able to access it there. Local recordings, on the other hand, will just access wherever you have saved your local recordings. As you can see here, I just have the one recording that is saved, and if I wanted to watch it, I can click on it and it'll open up the folder where I can then view the audio or review the video. Moving on to the phone section here, we'll take a look at all the features of the phone. Up at the top, we've got our call history. It's going to show all calls, missed calls, or quick access to any call recordings we might have. From here, you can click on a recording to play it, or go ahead and click on the More section to download the recording and maybe share it externally. You also have the ability to add a contact if you're just looking to add a contact that you may have listed here. That kind of works with any call history log that you'll see within this one. Each one, as long as it's a contact, will give you the ability to call the person back, send them a text message, or you can just remove them from the call history list. In addition to that, you'll see next to the call history log, there's a plus button that allows you to start a call. Very similar to opening up the dial pad. Each of these here will kind of do the same thing, depending on which section that you're looking at. You can also click on the arrow to minimize the section there. And if we're going to go ahead and move next to the other section here called voicemail, this is where we can see all of the voicemails. If you do have text-to-speech turned on, you can click on the Show Transcript button here, which will then give you a breakdown of what message has been left for you, and you can go ahead and give it a read before listening to it, and then you can quickly either message the person back, or start a video call with them, or just give them a phone call, right from this section here. You can also delete the message, mark as unread to remind yourself to read it for later, or click on Download to save the audio recording for later as well. I'll mark this one as unread just to show you what it looks like when you do have a new voicemail. If it is all minimized, you'll see there's a little notification here with the letter number 1, and you can know that it is a voicemail because it shows the number 1 there. Once you go ahead and click on your all voicemail, you'll see that there's a red dot next to the name of the voicemail, and once you click on it once and open it, it'll show it here. Once you click on play, that little notification will go away, or you can go over here to the right-hand side and click Mark as Read. If you're looking to search through your voicemails, you do have the ability to filter voicemails if you have quite a few, where you can just click on the tab and search for them. After the voicemail section, we do have our fax section here. This is going to be where all of our faxes that we've received or sent are sorted in this section here. If we're looking to review a fax, you just go ahead and click on it and then select View. Once you click on View, it's going to go ahead and open up a PDF viewer where you can see what fax was sent through. As you can see here, this was just a test fax, no real details in it. And from here, you can go ahead and make it full size. You can open the file, print it, save it, or forward it off to someone else if you need to. Right here is where you're going to forward it if you need to. You can also click on More, mark as unread if you need to review it later. Go ahead and delete it if you need to, or block the number if you find you're getting some spam faxes from a specific number repeatedly. It does give you the ability to do that. If you're looking to send a new fax, you do have the option to click on the plus button next to fax. Or if you've forgotten, we can go up here to the plus section and just go ahead and start a new fax. Both do the exact same. I'll go ahead and click on the plus just to show you what it looks like. As you can see here, it's going to ask you for a fax number or a contact number to enter in. So I'll go ahead and enter just my personal cell. As you can see, once I enter a number, it'll pop up there. You can then choose which cover page you're going to use. If you're looking for a preview of these, once you click on the menu, you'll see here there's a preview next to it. Say we're sending a birthday fax, you can go ahead and click on birthday and then click on preview. It'll open up a view just to kind of show you what it's going to look like. In addition to that, you can put a cover page note. This will be attached to that cover page. And then you can also attach files. So if you're looking to attach a PDF or a Word document, just click on Attach File. It's going to go ahead and open up an Explorer window where you can find the documents you wish to attach. After this has been completed, you can then select to send now or send later. If you're needing to schedule this for another time, you can go ahead and pick a date and a time when you want to schedule the fax for, and then click on schedule, and that fax will go through when you scheduled it. In addition to that, if you have any failed faxes, you can always just click on the failed section to see what the issue was or resend it. We also have our text section here. In this area here, you'll see anyone that you've sent a fax to, your entire fax history will be saved here. And if you're looking to review any any text messages, you can go ahead and click on that text message conversation to check it out, see what was there. And if you're looking to add that contact directly to your contacts, you can do that just by clicking on the little arrow next to their number. Or you can delete the message or block the number if you find it's a spam. Once you're in here, you can see you do have the ability to copy text messages, say if you need to save this conversation, or if you need to delete individual messages, you can do that as well. You'll also see at the top, you can add this contact, very similar to just adding the contact next to the number. Or if you're looking to just make a quick phone call, you can click on the phone and it'll dial them directly. If you find you're just trying to read the information and you don't need to see this members list, you can always hide the details of that members list just to make it easier to see. At the very bottom, you'll also see you have the ability to attach files, which allows you to attach any pictures if you need to send any picture messages. It does give you the ability to send videos as well, and sometimes even zip files. Just be aware that sometimes the files are pretty large and the recipient might not want to receive them over a phone and might want to receive it by email. So just keep that in mind. You also have the ability to send emojis by clicking on the emoji icon. You can click here and quickly select an emoji. As for sending text messages, once you enter a text, just hit enter and it'll send a text through. Now, if you're looking to send a new text to somebody that you don't already have in your list, again, you have that plus option next to text. Click on send new text to create a new text. It'll bring up this box here. And in the same way, you can also go up to the new actions and click on send new text, which will do the exact same thing. You'll see here that you are sending the text from your direct number. If you have more than one direct number, you can choose which number to send it from here. I just have the one. And then whoever you wish to send the text to, you would enter in here. In this example, I'll go ahead and enter one phone number. And you can see once I hit enter, it has become a person that I can send it to. If I wanted to send it to more than one person, I can go ahead and enter a second number and hit enter. And you'll see now that I have the ability to send to two people from one text message. You'll also see right below here, we have the option to create a group text that is selected at this moment. And if you hover over the little information icon, it'll let you know that if you leave this selected, it'll send a group text to up to 10 people. This would mean that as the text goes out, all the people within the group will see everyone else that is included in that group up to a limit of 10. If you uncheck this group text, it will just send out the same text message to everyone individually, creating individual conversations for each recipient. I'll go ahead and leave this selected as create a group text and then click next. You'll see what happens next is a new text dialog is created, and here you can just go ahead and send a text message where you can enter a text and hit enter, and you'll see here that the text has gone out to both parties. To delete a group message, go ahead and click delete. After it's been deleted, it will disappear, but keep in mind if you did send out a group text and someone received that text, they may reply back and it'll recreate that group text message. Now to take a look at how the call history works and how calls interact with the desktop application, we'll go ahead and just do a test call here. You could do it by clicking on the plus button next to the call history, or we can just go up to the dial pad and enter a phone number to dial. For this example, I'm just going to go ahead and dial my personal cell number. And I've got myself muted on both sides, so that way we don't have any feedback. As you can see in this diagram here, you can see who we're talking to. You'll also notice that if you hover your cursor just in this section here, the arrow changes to let you know that you can move this box around. Say if you need to navigate throughout the app and look at some other information, say you need to review some messages or check out another contact, you can do that just by moving it around. If you find that this box is just too much in the way, you can always click on the minimize option, which will minimize the phone call to this upper section here. From here, you can end the call or mute yourself or unmute yourself, or just to retrieve the call, go ahead and click on it and it'll pop up again. Now, once we're in an active call, you'll see we have the options to mute ourselves. We can use the keypad if we need to enter some DTMF tones, and then just go back. If we need to change our audio, we can click on the audio option. From here, we can select where our microphone source is coming from, how we're listening to the phone call, and also the audio volume that is selected there. If we need to add another contact to the call, create a three-way call or a conference call, we can just go ahead and click on add. And once we do that, we can just enter a number or name of someone else we want to add to the call. It'll go ahead and dial them, and then you can merge the calls together. We also have the option to put the call into a hold. As you can see there, once we put it on hold, it shows on hold, and you can even minimize it there, and it'll show it up here. It's important to note that it doesn't actually show that it's on hold when it is minimized, so you will need to check what's going on there. After you've opened it up, go ahead and click on hold to resume the call. If we click on the More section, here we have the ability to transfer the call. And if we're looking to transfer it internally, we can go ahead and just enter in an extension of the person we want to transfer it to. And as you can see here, once we have an extension that is valid within our company, you'll have the three options here at the bottom. First of all, we have the Ask First transfer method, which will connect to the extension. In this example, it would connect to Andrew. I would have a brief conversation with him, letting him know that I do have a call on the line. And if he'd like to take the call, I can go ahead and complete the transfer. If I wanted to transfer it to him directly without asking him first, I can just go ahead and click on transfer, which will complete a blind transfer or a cold transfer, where he will just receive the call that I currently have and he'll answer that. If he doesn't answer it, it'll go to his voicemail. Now, if I know he's busy and just want to skip over the phone call interaction and send the call right to his voicemail, I do have the option to send it right to voicemail. So those three options are available to you if you are doing transfers, just like the old application gave you. Now, if you're looking to transfer the call to a number outside of TELUS Business Connect, as you can see, I'm entering a 10-digit number, the options are then reduced to just the two options. One, you can either ask first, meaning you would connect to that party, let them know you have a call on the line, and you can go ahead and transfer it to them afterwards. Or you can do a blind transfer where it will just take the call and send it directly to them. You're unable to send the call directly to voicemail because TELUS Business Connect doesn't have control of the voicemail if it is an external party that is not part of TELUS Business Connect. We also have the ability to start a call recording. Once you click on record, it gives you a little message that lets you know that the call is being recorded. And then when you're done recording, go ahead and click on that one and hit stop recording. After you've stopped recording, it'll give you that little message letting you know the call has been recorded. Here we have the ability to put a call into Park. And I'll go ahead and click on this and kind of show you that you don't have the ability to place the call into a specific Park location, but instead, with this new unified app, instead what it does is it takes the call and it puts it into a shared cloud Park. I'll show you what that looks like here. After the call has been parked, you can see it here up at the top that your call has been parked at location star 801. It also gives the ability to notify someone by message if you need to let them know, hey, I've got a call for you on Park 801. You can also notify them by text, or you can just close this window here, and you'd have to remember that you're going to need to go to star 801 to retrieve that call we just parked. So now to retrieve that call, star 801, go ahead and hit enter or click on dial. And you can see there that I've now reconnected with that phone call and I have retrieved it. You are unable to see who was in that phone call because the call was put into Park, and the only way that you would know who that call was is because you were the one that put them into Park. So if you are retrieving a call, just note that you are unable to see what that caller ID is just because you're retrieving it from a Park location. If we click on more, we do have the final ability there to flip a call. This is something that can be pre-set up within your settings for where you want your flip options to go. For myself, I just have my mobile number in there, and I sometimes use this if I'm in a call on my desktop and need to flip it directly to my mobile device. Finally, you have the ability to end the call, which will just complete the call. Go ahead and click on end call, and the call will be completed. You can see here that I did receive a response to that group text. I did send out a test, and it looks like I got a reply back and just says yes. As you can see, that group message has been recreated because initially when I created the group message, it did have those two numbers in it. I'll go ahead and delete it just because it's not something I need. The fourth option there on the left is just your contacts section. From here, if you click on contacts, you can see all of the contacts within your company contacts. In addition to that, on the right-hand side, you can see here that if you want to connect your contacts with your Outlook or your Google account, you can do that just by clicking on it. And they do let you know not to worry that they do not store your contacts. So it's important to note that if you do connect to a Outlook or Google account, TELUS Business Connect doesn't pull that information. It just allows you to see it through their application. And at any time you like, you can disconnect your Microsoft account or Google account, and those contacts will be removed from your TELUS Business Connect. We do have a few other sections where you can click on company if you're just looking for company contacts. If you did invite any guests to TELUS Business Connect, you would see them here as well. And then if you have any personal contacts, for myself, I just have the one. And as you can see, it does list it here. But if I look at all contacts, I'll also be able to see that same contact listed here in the group of them. If I had any teams, I could also see them here. As you can see, we have experimented with a few of them just to kind of see how they work. And again, these are just contact lists that are grouped into teams. If you're looking to add a new contact, you can easily just click on Add Contacts up here on the top. And once you do that, you can enter here all the information of your contact. As you can see, at the very bottom, it does show the source of your contact. Now, if you had your Outlook account or your Google account synchronized with TELUS Business Connect, it would give you the option to choose one of those if you wanted to add it to those contacts. It does give you just kind of a basic layout of information, and if you want to add even more details, you can click on expand and you can see you've got a lot more information that you can enter. After you enter the contact, just click save and it'll be saved within your TELUS Business Connect contacts. Finally, at the very bottom there, number 5, we've got the option to look at any tasks, events, files, or notes that may have been created. And these mainly refer to any tasks or events or files or notes that have been created within your messages section. If you're looking to use this, feel free to give it a try, see if it's something you like. Most companies do already have something like this already integrated for their companies, such as Microsoft Teams or Google Drive, things like that. But if you are looking to use some of these features, they are available to you. And they do work exactly the same as all the other sections. For example, if you need to start a new task, click on the plus section next to tasks. If you need to start a new event, same idea, click on the plus next to the events. Any files that have been uploaded or shared, you'll find here. And any notes will also be located down here. And it works the exact same way. If you have any, or if you're looking to create one, click on the new note, or just click on the notes and click create a note. At the very bottom, we do have the apps section. Here you can discover applications that can integrate with TELUS Business Connect. There are quite a few of here. I personally don't have a ton of experience with these, but if you're looking to integrate some of these apps, if they ring a bell, or if you do use them in your workplace, it's nice to know that you can just easily click on them to add them right to the TELUS Business Connect integrated application. At the very bottom, we have our settings section. Here's where you would go if you're looking to modify any of your settings for this application. By default, this is kind of what it'll look like. As you can see, you have desktop notifications enabled for any incoming calls or missed calls or voicemails. You can also choose where they come. So as you can see here, just direct messages and mentions will come through, or you can select on all new messages if you want to be notified on everything. You can also select the sound that it uses by clicking here and then previewing which sound it uses, or you can just go ahead and turn it off if you're looking to do that. You can also turn on or off email notifications. You can also edit your audio sources. And if you have a headset control, you may wish to come down to this section to turn this on. If you do not have this turned on, your headset controls will not work and you might get a little stuck. When you turn this option on, you'll then see that the computer is going to try and detect if you have a Plantronics or a Jabra, and if you have those softwares installed. As you can see here, it's asking me to download the application for both of them because I have not used a headset with either of those. In addition to that, you can always click on the Learn More option here to learn more about how these headsets interact with your computer and how they work with phone calls. I'll go ahead and turn it off just because I don't use a headset. We also have the option to change our themes if you're looking to do that. For myself, I do like to use the dark theme. I find it a little easier on the eyes. I also have it set to follow system settings, and because my system is set to a dark theme, it'll just stay this way. But if I wanted to change it to light, I can go ahead and click on light, and you'll see there that it instantly changes it to that color that matches your TELUS Business Connect model. Personally, I find it just a little bit too bright on the eyes, so I like leaving it on the dark theme. In messages here, you can change some of the settings, and this is just referring to the messages section here. Choose some of the max conversation numbers and your new badge count, and in addition to that, to show link previews. The video section here just brings you to a general section where you can click on edit, which will bring you to a second screen where you can modify your TELUS Business Connect meetings settings. If you're looking to edit your personal meeting ID, you can click on edit here to do that. If we click on the edit section here, I'll just give you a quick preview of what that looks like. Once we click on edit, it'll open up the TELUS Business Connect meeting settings. This is a very in-depth section on where you can modify any settings for your meetings. As you can see here, it looks very similar to the old application. And from here, you can go ahead and choose any settings you need to modify. There's me. And you can go ahead and look at the audio if you're looking to change things for your audio. As you can see here, I do have this automatically adjust microphone volume. That does help if you're in an environment where there's some noise. Go ahead and turn that off if you find your audio is just fluctuating too much or people can't hear you. And it also comes with an automatically noise suppression. This is great to use if you do have some background noise. Go ahead and leave that on auto if you're looking to just keep your audio nice and clean. There is an advanced section here at the bottom if you're looking to go even more in depth with some of the audio options, and you can go ahead and look at that. If you're looking to change how your screen is shared, you can change any of those settings here. And in addition to that, there is an advanced section as well. For any backgrounds and filters, you can go ahead and go to this section here and change it if you need to. In the recordings tab, this is where you're going to go to select where any of your video recordings are being shared. If you click on recording, you can then choose where these recordings are being saved and any of the options that are being there as well. In your statistics, this is a great spot to go ahead and check and see how your computer is performing when you're using TELUS Business Connect or when you're using your video sharing or video conferencing. As you can see here, I'm really pushing my computer. It's sitting at about 90%, but it will drop down to about 50%, basically letting me know that what I'm doing with this computer is basically hitting the peak of its performance, and it might be a good idea to get a computer that's got a little bit faster of a CPU. If you find that sometimes your maybe audio or video are glitching, it might be time to upgrade your computer. As you can see here, it's just struggling there at the 80 to 90%, but does drop down. If you're looking to modify any keyboard shortcuts, you can do that here. And then finally, your accessibility section, which allows you to modify the size of your font within the application. You can also go down here to choose which reader alerts pop up while you're in a video message. So that's pretty much just the TELUS Business Connect meeting settings there. If you're looking to edit them, you can click on edit and do that there. In the phone section here, you can choose any options for your phone, such as selecting a default caller ID. Basically the same thing as choosing where you're calling from, just keeps it as a default number, whichever one you select here. You can also choose your region or update your emergency address if you need to do that. And if you want to go to your TELUS Business Connect portal, you can easily just click on edit in this section here, which will open up the TELUS Business Connect portal and bring you right to your portal where you need to change anything within your back-end settings. I'll go ahead and let this load just to kind of show you that it does bring you right to your settings option, which is a little bit more in depth for your TELUS Business Connect settings. In addition to that, at the very bottom, you do have the option when an incoming call comes through that the TELUS Business Connect app comes to the foreground. This would be useful if you find you're working on a lot of things on your computer and you just don't want to always have your phone program open the whole time. Just go ahead and make sure this is turned on. That way when a call does come through, it'll pop up right in your front screen so you can answer it. If you have the application minimized and you really don't want to be disturbed, you can go ahead and turn this one on, but just keep in mind that if this is turned on and your application is minimized, you won't be notified when a call comes through. Calendars and contacts. Over here in this section, again, just referring back to if you want to connect to your Microsoft account, integrating your Outlook with TELUS Business Connect. Google, same idea there. If you want to sign in with your Google account to integrate your contacts and calendars. And then after you have integrated one of them, you can select here what the default contact save location will be. And then finally, you have some keyboard shortcuts that are just integrated for the TELUS Business Connect unified desktop application. So this pretty much covers the entire TELUS Business Connect application. The only sections we really didn't look at was just these top drop-down options here, which just allow you to change some kind of basic settings about the app. For myself, I do keep the launch application on System Start enabled. That way, anytime my computer reboots, I've already got the TELUS Business Connect program running. By default, that is enabled. You go ahead and click Edit if you're looking to cut, copy, and paste through the drop-down menu, or if you're looking to zoom in or out. Say if you find the text is just too small or not big enough, you can go ahead and click on Zoom In, and you'll see that it does bring the font to a larger size. You can keep zooming in until it gets uncomfortably large. And then if you get it just to be too big, you can go ahead and click on View and click Reset, and it'll go back to the default setting. The Help section here just gives you an About, which basically is the same thing that we looked at over here in the Profile menu, where you go to the About and see the app version. Might be a little easier to get to if you're looking to just restart to update or something like that, or just make sure that you do have the most up-to-date application. Well, that pretty much covers it though for us. This has been the TELUS Business Connect Unified Desktop Application.